Rams fans, the Los Angeles Rams have a secret weapon. And today we're going to be breaking him down. We're going to be revealing the Rams' secrets on today's episode of the Rams Report by Chat Sports, presented by Prize Picks. It's a Rams player profile. Bleacher Report highlighted 32 secret weapons, the best kept secrets, I think was the exact phrasing on each team. And they highlighted a player for the Rams, and it inspired me to do a player profile on this guy because he is so underappreciated. So we're going to talk about one of our most underappreciated, our most unsung heroes on today's show. But before I tell you who that is, and before we get into it, I got to let you know, if you want more Rams player profiles, this will be far from the last one that we do this offseason. We already did one on Ty Simpson earlier this month. We're going to do more on all of the Rams' new rookies, but we can also do them on any Rams players that you guys want. Just let us know in the comments after you hit that subscribe button, and make sure you don't miss any of our Rams player profiles this offseason. But let's talk about Kam Kinchens. Cameron Kinchens is the focus of today's show. Brent Sobleski for Bleacher Report had this to say about him. Cameron Kinchens proved he's an exception to the rule. The NFL often requires an athlete to hit certain baseline testing thresholds. Kinchens played extremely well during his time with the Miami Hurricanes, yet tested as one of the least athletic safeties over the last 39 years per Kentley Platt. The 23-year-old, good Lord, embodies the argument of play speed versus timed speed. The Rams obviously believed in his ability enough to make the two-time first-team All-ACC honoree a third-round selection. He registered 141 total tackles, 12 passes defensed, and 6 interceptions over the last 2 seasons. Kinchens hasn't been a full-time starter, but he regularly fills any need within the Rams secondary thanks to his ability to play free safety, in the box, or over the slot, which makes him and Cam Curl interchangeable pieces. I agree with nearly everything Brent Sobleski said here, except for the idea that Kinchens isn't a full-time starter. Does playing 900-plus snaps in a season not make you a full-time starter? I would say that makes you pretty much a full-time starter. This dude, Cam, he is one of, I think, the most unsung heroes of the 2025 Rams, but really the Rams of the last 2 seasons. I think he took a big step forward last year. We're going to talk about his growth, but really, today's show is going to be focused on breaking down and boiling down what Kam Kinchens brings to this Rams team into 3 key components. And I think the first of them, absolutely, you have to start with something that Brent highlighted here. This dude is so incredibly versatile, guys. He is so incredibly... he could just play so many different positions for you. It's what you're looking for in terms of a modern player in the secondary. When we've shown our depth charts in the past, this is not a graphic that our regular viewers are unfamiliar with. I have him in at free safety. That's almost always where I tell you guys that Kam Kinchens is. But to be honest with you, I'm doing him a bit of a disservice by just having him at free safety, and we're going to break down exactly why. We're going to talk about how Cam is so much more than just a safety in just 1 minute here. We're going to get into exactly why that's the case. But before we do, I've got to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, and that's America's #1 sports picks app, our friends over at Prize Picks. Guys, if you love daily fantasy sports or you just want to add more excitement to watching sports, you've got to try out Prize Picks. And it's a great time to get started, too. The NBA playoffs are well underway with the conference finals getting going, and the baseball season is in full swing as well. There's no better place to get in on all that action than Prize Picks, guys. And it's never been easier to play than it is with Prize Picks. All you have to do is pick 2 to 6 players, and you're selecting more on their stat projections. Whether you're picking from points, assists, rebounds, hits, home runs, strikeouts, they've got plenty of options from all your favorite sports. Plus, PrizePicks has awesome social features. They allow you to easily tailor fade your friends by just copying their lineups. And you can even follow people as well, like any social media platform. I'm on there. My username is Jackson Durham with no spaces. So go drop a follow, and you can see all of my latest lineups, including this one with PrizePicks' season-long picks. I went with the less on Fernando Mendoza, the less on Jeremiah Love, and the more on Jordan Tyson. That's 20 to win 120, so you guys can tail me, you can fade me, whatever you do, just do it with our friends at PrizePicks. And if you're new to PrizePicks, make sure you use our promo code, download the PrizePicks app today, and use code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to receive $50 in lineups. That's code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to get an extra $50 in lineups with PrizePicks. The clickable link to download the app is in the comments and the description below. Let's keep going on why Kam Kinchens is more than just a safety, guys. Let's keep talking about this dude's versatility, because he hinted at it, Brent did, but I think it's worth diving into the numbers to really get an idea of how versatile he is. So I told you, he played north of 900 snaps for the Rams last season in 2025, which I would say, Brent, makes him a full-time starter, but we can digress on that point. 236 of those as a box linebacker. So coming down, playing in that box role in run defense, in honestly, at times in pass rush as well, which we'll get into. He did that from a variety of different positions, really flashed some areas of that as well this season. But 236 snaps coming down in the box, and we'll talk about the improvement he made when he was asked to play that position. But he also played 54 snaps in the slot, swapping in for Quentin Lake, who was primarily playing slot corner for us this season. And he also found his way onto the field, for 656 snaps as a free safety. That was his traditional primary role. But what might surprise you the most, if you didn't watch every snap and focus on Kam Kinchens, he also played 29 snaps as technically an edge rusher, a defensive lineman. If you look on PFF, that's what they classify him as. I would say he was more in the outside linebacker role, kind of playing the similar role to what Jared Verse and Byron Young do at times. But this guy is such a true do-it-all. And he, again, playing that edge rush threat, showed a bunch of ability to get after the quarterback. He came up with a sack. He had a QB hit, or multiple QB hits last season. And he also came away with 6 pressures on 16 snaps directly being used as a pass rusher on passing down. Some of those other snaps, it ended up being a run play. But 16 attempts to get after a quarterback, and on 6 of them, he at least records a pressure, came away with a sack, and multiple QB hits as well. And as you can see from some of these photos, this dude loves to hit people. He is a fierce, fierce tackler. Brent mentioned that as well, and it's something that I think took a big step forward in 2026. It was an area of growth for him this season as a tackler. In this season, I think we saw Kam go from solid coverage guy. We'll talk about his abilities as a ball hawk on the back end, and someone who can play all of these different positions. But this season, he really focused on improving in run defense, on becoming a real threat to opposing teams' run games, despite not necessarily having, as it was mentioned, crazy athletic traits or the size that you usually associate with somebody who makes a huge difference in the run game. But again, look at the numbers. 72 tackles this year. 24 stops in run defense. Look at the improvement from 2024, where he only had 9 stops in run defense. He jumps that up to more than double this season. 20 extra solo tackles as he continued to play more, continued to get more involved, and he missed less of his tackle opportunities as well, dropping his missed tackle rate by almost 3%, and again, recording 6 pressures this season for the first time in his career after not being involved as a pass rush threat at all. That is a lot of growth in a number of areas in his second season, showing a willingness to do anything this team asks him to do. And then lastly, you can't talk about Kam Kinchens unless you're going to talk about the fact that this dude is a ball hawk. Definition of a ball hawk. At times for better or worse. I'm not going to lie. There are some negatives with that. At times he gives up big plays because he's trying to make a play on the football. But 18.5% of everything that has come in the direction of Kam Kinchens in his career has been broken up or picked off, according to PFF. That is ridiculous, my friends. That is a nuclear stat right there for Kam Kinchens. He is such an underappreciated element of this defense. And a lot of that success came against one of our most hated rivals. We'll talk about that in a minute. But look at the career numbers for Kam. At this point, again, like I said, you can see at times he does give up some plays. And of course, for safeties, the completion percentage is always going to be significantly higher than you're maybe used to seeing with a corner just because of the role that they're asked to play. But look at the PBUs. Look at the interceptions. 13 combined in 34 games. He has 2 games in his career already with multiple interceptions. One of which, during his rookie season, he got a 103-yard pick six in this game. I believe that is at least tied for the Rams' all-time record for distance on a pick six. And it's definitely the Rams' rookie record for distance on a pick six. But it also started a career of dominance against Seattle so far for Kam Kinchens. Look at the numbers if you just isolate to his games against the Seahawks. 8 targets in his direction in 5 games. By the way, that's ridiculous. This dude, they're just not throwing in his direction anymore after all the success he's had. But that's not hard to see why. 4 picks on 8 targets in his direction. Half of everything that has come his way in games against Seattle, he said, I'll take that, and gone the other way. One of which he took it all the way, 103 yards for 6. This dude has been a beast in our, what I would say right now is our biggest rivalry. He comes to play when it matters the most. There is a lot to love about Kam Kinchens, but his success against Seattle may be one of the things I love most about him. I can't wait to see him give them fits again this season. And if you're excited about Kam Kinchens, if you learned something new about Kam Kinchens, or you have a new appreciation for him after this video, I want you to spam Kam down in the comments of today's video. Let Kam Kinchens and the whole YouTube world know how excited we are about him and his role on this Rams defense and on this Rams team in 2026. Give me a Kam in the comments section below, and let me know while you're down there, who else are we profiling in our next video. We'll see you in the next one. As always, let's go Rams.